I'm very excited. It is Inkanyeni and one of her cubs. I actually even mentioned I would be very happy to see this female this morning. Well, let me just move forward for you there, Dave. She's just disappeared. Looks like they've been around here for a couple of days. There's an old impala kill in the tree. Now, I know a lot of you might not like me, but me saying this, Inkanyeni is my favorite female leopard that we see, and we don't get to see her too often. Now, I only see one cub. She did have two, but that doesn't mean the other cub has definitely died. There could be another one around that we just haven't spotted just yet. It looks like the male cub. Now, I think they have been named, but I can't remember. So if anyone out there remembers what the names of Inkanyeni's cubs are, please let me know. Hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV. There we go. Now she is a beautiful, beautiful female leopard. I'm just going to try reposition. And we can see the little boy. He is looking absolutely gorgeous at the moment. Look at that. Oh, it's been a big cat feast down here. Oh, he's going to go say hello to Mom. No. Dave, you definitely are the good luck charm. We haven't been down here since the day we saw the cheetah and the leopard kill, and now we come back down and we get 2 leopards and 2 cheetahs. Michael says this is the first time he's ever seen Inkanyeni on the live drives, and Vuyatomi, I'm not sure, I'm going to double check that, but that, I think it means lucky, possibly. I can't remember. I think Shanae actually named this cat. Shanae did name this cat. Now you might hear what sounds to be an airplane in the background. It's a bat hawk. It's an anti-poaching microlight, actually. So if you do hear that noise, don't worry. It's just the Kruger flying along their boundary. Let's try and see if we can get into us. Oh. It wasn't spider's silk. That was bagworm silk. Isn't this absolutely incredible? You can see the little worm there now. I mean, that silk he spun looks exactly like a little grass seed. Oh, leopards on the move. One of them at least. That's in Inkanyeni. Or is it? Yes, Vutomi. No, it's Inkanyeni. Oh, he's getting big. Maybe it is Vutomi. No, it's the little one. No, it's not. It's Mom. And there comes the next one. Let's just try getting around. He might stalk and leap upon his mother, like young male leopards often like to do. Oh, she is gorgeous. She's definitely my favorite female leopard. can see nice full belly. Hello, Amber. Amber is wondering, how old is that cub? I'm trying to remember now, but he must be about 14 months, maybe. And being a little male, he normally stays with his mom till he's about even up to 2.5 years old. Okay, we're going to sit here because I think he's going to move back towards where mom is laying down in the shade. Judy would like to know, is this leopard related to Karula? Judy, it's not. As far as I know, she's the daughter of the beacon female that used to reside in Buffels Hook and Torchwood. So she's not related to Karula. Okay, I think the leopards are going to be here. We're going to try to see if we can go see the cheetah again. So, and just before they cross to Mount Mala, and we'll come back to them just now. So while we do that, let's go see what Taylor's up to on foot. Here we go. We're still with Inkanyeni, and I must admit, out of the cats, leopards probably are the hardest to track. But the hardest animal to track, I would say, is a dragonfly or a butterfly. Only joking, of course. So you can see it's heating up quite quickly now. It's probably close on 85 to 90 Fahrenheit already. And then we've got Inkanyeni lying in the shade with her nice big belly. There's the remnants of an impala kill in the marula tree behind us. But it's pretty much done skis. There's nothing left there. I can't see where Vutomi is now, but I'm sure he's not far. Also probably got his own little spot of shade that he is reclining in. Now, if Karula is the queen of Djuma, Inkanyeni is certainly the queen of the east. Now, we don't get to see her nearly as often as I'd like, because a lot of her territory extends into the Kruger. So she does spend quite a lot of time outside of the Sabi Sands. But when she is around, she is spectacular. Even if she is dozing. Now, it's thought that Shivambalan is the father of Vutomi. Now, when it comes to leopards, a lot of people definitely like to speculate who's the daddy. Now, unfortunately, as much as we would like to speculate, without genetic testing, it's impossible to say. Female leopards will mate with up to 4 or 5 males during the estrus cycle. And the reason they do this is so that any male that comes into contact with those cubs will think that they've possibly fathered that cub, and therefore hopefully not kill it. Now, so it is very difficult to say. It's likely that the dominant leopard, that the female dominant male that the female's territory mostly encompasses, is likely to be the father. But again, without genetics, it is literally impossible to say. Now, Stephanie is wondering why, in Singapore, is wondering why is she breathing so heavily. Well, Stephanie, it's because she's got a full belly. Now, leopards, unlike human beings, are unable to sweat. So we cool down by sweating, and then the cold or the breeze or whatnot on us causes evaporation, which cools us down. And when we're hot, our actual blood comes closer to the skin, and our veins become thicker. When it's cold, it contracts. So when we want to try get rid of that heat, and when it's really, really cold, we're trying to keep our heat in. Now, the only way for her to get rid of heat easily is by breathing. So if we look there, so the closest sort of blood vessels and veins and whatnot are going to be in her mouth and on her tongue. So what she does is those will be heavily extended, and as she breathes, they'll cool down the blood and send it through to the rest of her body. Now, as with a lot of the big cats, heat is a big problem for them, and that's why they generally tend to be nocturnal or move around when it's cooler. And not so bad in leopards, but in lions, if their core body temperature raises even by about 2 or 3 degrees, it actually puts them in critical dangers, and the fact that they might not survive. I've only ever heard of one case of that actually being seen in the South Luangwa. What happens is if their body temperature does get too hot, they become delirious, confused, and of course then they don't get out of the sun, don't cool down, so it can be quite dangerous. It doesn't really happen too often. It's a very extreme thing when that does happen. But that's why on hot days, especially on hot summer days like today, you're going to find most leopards will be well in some deep shade and breathing heavily. And the other reason she's breathing so heavily is she's got a belly full of food. So remember, when you eat, and you tend to get a bit warmer after you eat, and the digestive process does heat you up. Oh, here comes Vutomi. See him? Oh, he's laying down. There he is. So I said he's never going to be too far off. Yeah, let's try to see if we can get a bit of a closer look at Mr. Vutomi. And while we head in that way, Gigi would like to know, isn't a leopard's vision in black and white? Indeed it is, Gigi. It's all more in shades of grey. Now, that's obviously to help them with their nocturnal vision as well. And their eyes are very differently designed to ours. They're designed to focus on movement, so they don't see detail. For example, a leopard wouldn't be able to read the back of a book. It would only be able to see that there was something there. So their eyes are very specifically designed to pick up movement, and that's why there's that old adage when it comes to being out in the bush: most animals' eyes are designed to pick up movement. Whatever you do, don't run. And often, because if you keep dead still, a lot of animals will actually lose sight of you because you are not moving. So there is young Vutomi. Hello, mister. Growing up very quickly. If I remember, he's probably 13 or 14 months old now. He is getting to probably one of the nicest ages for young male leopards. They are very playful and inquisitive with life. So between a year and 2 years is sort of my favorite time to spend with a young male leopard, because they are so full of life and mischief. Now, of course, each individual leopard has its own personality, and I haven't spent enough time with Vutomi to get to know his personality too well just yet. Hopefully that's going to change. And, you can see he's a 3-3 spot pattern. For those of you who are wondering about spot patterns and how we identify leopards, let me just get there we go, a clickety, oh no, that's a terrible clickety click. My stuff is all set from last night in the dark. So I'm just going to get a shot of his face so I can show you. What I'm talking about when I say spot patterns. What is wrong with my camera? It is misbehaving heavily at the moment. There we go. Mr. Vutomi. That should be No, it's still very dark. It's very strange. So while I sort out, I don't know what, it's not listening to me. My camera is not listening to me. We're going to sit here with these leopards for a little bit longer, and while we do that, let's go see how Effie is doing on foot. Well, we're still with Inkanyeni, who's playing peekaboo behind a log. Now, it is, as I said, getting warm. I'm not sure where the little rascal Vutome has moved off to, but I think they're not going to be too far from each other, and also I think they're going to be snoozing now for the rest of the day. It is heating up. Their big bellies are taking over, and there are some other vehicles who are going to be making their way towards these incredible cats. And if her head goes down, I don't think we're going to be able to see much of her. Now, Megan says, a random question I know, but is a leopard's nose wet? Not quite as wet as the dog's, but it'll be damp rather than wet. But sometimes, depending on the time of year, it can also be quite dry. But definitely not that sort of wet like a dog's nose. And there she is. Oh, she's popped her head up again. As I said, once she goes flat there, we're not going to have much of a visual. So I think we'll probably be leaving them. I definitely think we'll follow up on the sunset safari, see if they're still in this vicinity. I think they should be, especially if the heat gets quite heavy today. I think with those full bellies, there may be one or two more scraps of meat that they can garner off what's left of the impala in the tree, but not much. There we go. That head's getting heavier and heavier. Oh, tired mom. Well, looking after a young male leopard is a busy job. They tend to eat almost as much, if not, well, at this age, probably more than mom does. And there comes the sun. She's got herself some really nice shade. Now, Alex is wondering why do her ears move so much? Well, it's because of the biting flies. Alex has a little species of fly called a stable fly that is quite a ravenous little bloodsucker, and you know, sometimes it'll even cause her to move, which she's doing at the moment. So it's generally from the flies. Oh, there we go. She's going to go a little bit deeper into that thicket. And I think, there we go, head down, it's snoozing time. So I think we're going to leave the incredible Inkanyeni, and I don't know where Mr. Vutomi is, to snooze, but we will be back to look for them again on the sunset safari. Let's see if we can get one last little sneak peek through the fallen wood. One last little view. I can just make her out. There she is. She's got herself a nice bit of shade under a fallen leadwood tree. Bye-bye, Miss Inkanyeni. Nice to see you again, and hopefully we'll see you on the sunset safari as well.